Hi, I'm John, and this is a Master Stars Piece Frieza figure. And with Dragon Ball Super coming back, it's only a matter of time before we see this animated. But while we wait, why don't I customize the definitive Master Life scaled Frieza into Black Frieza? Today's video is a request by member Peter's Display, who also has a new YouTube channel. He has a couple videos showing off his collection and how to display the newest Ichiban Kujis, so make sure you go check them out. Also in today's video, I'll be using GAAHLERI's new Seeker Dual Action Airbrush, which is perfect for beginners, so stay tuned to hear more later on. But for now, let's get started. With Frieza's new form, he has a raised brow line, so I have to sculpt it on using some epoxy sculpt. I did it in two sessions. The first to get the general shape down, and the second to fix up some details like raising the outer brow a little bit more. Next, I rolled up a noodly bit to sculpt in this hip separation. Luckily, the existing sculpt had some pretty nice hips. Next, I rolled up a noodly bit to sculpt in this hip separation. Luckily, the existing sculpt had some pretty nice hips, so it was pretty easy to follow along. After blending in that noodly bit, I noticed this figure having a pretty obnoxious seam line by his leg, so I decided to fill it in with some epoxy sculpt. And if I'm fixing one seam line, then I might as well fix this one on his tail too. And if I'm fixing his tail, I did notice that his two shoulder bulbs had some pretty obnoxious injection mold points, so I filled those in too. Interestingly enough, Black Frieza's hands and feet blend into his wrist and ankles, so I had to cut down the existing sculpt, not only around the edges, but also along the ridges where his purple pieces were, since I'm going to be filling them in later. Then I added in some epoxy sculpt around the cut areas to blend everything together. I added a little bit of extra epoxy sculpt near the top of the shins and forearms so I can add in some new bulbs. That's where these little guys come in. The last time I did Black Frieza, I sculpted them in. But this time I wanted them to be perfectly smooth and uniform, so this was a better option. I pressed the jewel into the epoxy sculpt to give it a naturally raised border, and then pulled them out to make sure I'm able to paint the pieces separately. After everything cured, his legs looked so thick that they looked like he had cankles, so I did an extra round of cutting and shaving to get it to the right shape. Then I used some little bally bits to make the ankle and wrist joints. Then I sanded everything down as best as I could to make everything nice and smooth. Well, now that we're done here, It's prime time. Like I mentioned at the top of the video, today I'm proud to showcase GAAHLERI's brand new Advanced Seeker Dual Action Airbrush, which features a new design and switchable 0.3mm and 0.5mm nozzles to paint both fine detail work and large areas with the same airbrush. It's perfect for beginners and pairs perfectly with GAAHLERI's Kaleido paints, which I'm also using. Use the links in the description and the pinned comments below to save 10% on their website, and for a limited time, 25% off on Amazon using my discount codes. Here I'm using the 0.3mm nozzle to paint in the shading detail in between Freeza's muscles. Instead of using the usual gray, this time I'm using purple to help emulate the purple aura he emits when he transforms. While I was at it, I also used purple to paint in all of his little bulbs. Then I switched over to the 0.5mm nozzle so I can start painting in the blending layers. Peter and I decided to go for a metallic finish for Freeza based off of this Toyotaro illustration. And that got me really excited because it gave me another opportunity to use GAAHLERI's metal color set, this time showcasing the darker metals. Coincidentally, the last time he used this set was on his big brother, and I was really impressed with the finish. For the head and extremities, I used a mix of tungsten steel, zirconium black, and a bit of purple, again to give an impression of an aura. I did use a little bit of this mixture using the 0.3mm nozzle as well on the black surfaces to give the figure some highlights, but honestly the finish is so shiny you can't even tell. Since the figure was still masked up, I decided to give it a glossy clear coat to give it some extra shine and to give it some extra contrast to the skin, which I left matte. Now it's time to unmask everything to see what I have left to work with.
Hello, monkeys!
I started by touching up the areas that I wanted to keep as metallic black. I intentionally overmasked the neck and shoulder areas since I have a little bit more control with a fine tip brush. Moving on to the eyes, I started with some black, making his pupils a little bit bigger than the original figure. Then I gave him some guy liner, some black lipstick, and went even further beyond by giving him a full mani-pedi with some black nail polish. And finished it off with a little bit of ear cleaning. Then I filled in his pupils with some red and cleaned up all of my line work with some white. Off screen, I gave his face another layer of matte clear coat to protect the paint, and all that was left to do was to put him back together.
Ha 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 ha! 約束でしたよね。地獄以上の恐怖を見せてあげるって。
Here's the final result. Let me know what you think in the comments, and tell me whether or not you guys are excited for Black Frieza to finally come to the anime. Thanks to GAAHLERI for sponsoring the channel with the new Advanced Secret Airbrush. Make sure you check them out in the links in the description and the pinned comments. Thanks to Rifty Beats for letting me use his music. And of course, thanks to all my members. Membership to the channel is $2 a month, where you can help support the channel directly and get some behind the scenes looks of what I'm working on. You can find everything I use in the video linked in the description as affiliate links. If you buy anything after you click the link, it'll help support the channel without any additional cost to you. And if you like my work, leave a thumbs up, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you know when my next video is going to drop. Thanks for watching. See you next time.